Circling. Welcome to the reality revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. We have a glorious episode today. We may have some guests that are coming in. We got the one and only Kyle Boyd that's in the house.
Whoa.
The man, the myth, the legend.
We got some sound effects. Let's go.
That's right. Kyle Boyd is the host the amazing channel, the Heart Coherence Collaborative, where you on regular basis can see some of the most amazing interviews. And last week had joined us, a couple weeks ago had joined us, and it was phenomenal. We are, in particular, going to answer any questions that you might have. And sometimes we don't know where this journey is going to take us. Some people have asked for me to continue playing music, and we can certainly do that. And then, put in the comments if the music is too loud. But I'm sending my love to everybody. It's been a fantastic week. Tell me, brother, how was your week? Tell me, what kind of interviews and videos did you have this week?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, one thing that I've really been doing lately is practicing heart coherence regularly. I do it in my group, but in my spare time, I'm really just spending a lot of time getting into my heart energy. And what I notice, it's pretty fascinating because the inner balance, the device that monitors, I think I lost you, Brian.
No.
Okay. Yeah. But the device that monitors your heart coherence, what I notice is when I take 3 days off from doing heart coherence, my scores substantially go down. But when I do it every day, it's like I'm building my scores, they go up and up and up. And it's like my vibration just goes to the roof when I practice consistently. So I've been doing that. And then on top of that, I had an interview with Billy Carson recently that was absolutely
oh man, I can't wait to hear that.
Coming out.
You promised me you're going to help me get Billy Carson on.
I will get Billy for you. Billy, he was like the coolest dude. He's my second favorite interview, I think, all time. My first favorite interview happened this week with a guy named Vinny Tolman.
You were going to tell me? I said, wait.
So Vinny, man, dude, this guy died, right? And he was in a body bag. So he was in a body bag for an hour. They came and they took him in the ambulance. And when he was in the ambulance, he was in his higher self looking down on the ambulance as it was driving. And all of a sudden, he saw this giant light of like this glowing light go into the driver. And the driver went back and he started checking on his body. And he was like, the other guy that was in the passenger seat was kind of like yelling at him, like, you're a rookie, you can't be doing this, like, leave the body alone, come back here. And so then he saw another glow go into the driver. So he went back, checked on the body again. There was a pulse. And so all of a sudden, Vinny is like in his higher self and he's looking down and he's realizing it's him. And then he turns around and he sees this guy that looks like Jesus. And so he's like, are you Jesus? And he's like, no, I'm your higher self named Drake. So all of a sudden, Drake takes him to heaven and he's in heaven. Vinny's in heaven. And like every blade of grass, he said, if you brought that blade of grass down to earth, that one blade would change the entire humanity's existence and vibration. It would change. It would hop us into like multiple new earth, higher versions of our reality. So he goes on this wild journey in heaven. I'm not going to give too much away
because we got to watch it in the interview. Yeah.
Amazing. I was crying. I was so touched by it, but really it made me realize just like there's so much more, and like all the struggle we go through when we get out of here, like we're going to be glad. We're going to, wish that we gave it our best here. Yeah. Because like in heaven, it's just like everything's easy and amazing. But here we have choice,
Yeah. No, I've been obsessed with the genre of, when I read about the genre of people that have had near-death experiences.
Yeah.
And so I went through a phase where I read them all. Yeah. I was obsessed with them, and they're all, there's a lot of similarities with all of them. And man, oh man. So, yeah, I was going to tell you this week, and I'm excited because I've been working on a deep dive on a wasp-a. I was about to show you, wasn't I?
I don't know what that is.
So it's a Bible. It's Forgotten Secret Cosmic Bible. And it has these crazy, like, check this out. it's like a map of like the higher dimensions with like these cross points. I started reading it a while back when I first got access to when I was reading the Law of One, and they asked in the Law of One sessions, they asked Ra, they said, what is a waspe? Who delivered it? They said it was one of their Confederation sources.
Oh, wow.
And that we had entered a new era that they called the Cosmon era, where they were revealing more information about the higher heavens. And it's like mind-blowing, because it's about 1,500 pages. This dude in 1880 starts, he decides, he goes vegetarian and then meditates full-on hardcore every day for 10 years.
Nice.
And then out of the blue, he starts hearing this voice, and the voice is like, you're going to get a typewriter, and you're going to type through us. And he never edits it. He's just like, he said he's typing faster than you could imagine, and then drawing those pictures like that picture I showed you, right? And like, why is nobody talking about this, right? Why is nobody talking about this? So I started doing a deeper dive on it, and it's talking about the Law of One. It's talking about how, you know, we're entering into the new era where we become, we start to have access to the higher realms. But there's some crazy stuff in there where it's saying that there's sort of angels that went to the dark side and then created their own heavens and hells.
Wow.
And so they were capturing souls and feeding on them in their own hells. And so other entities had to come in and free them up. And so it was like the competing religions were all battling and using proxies on the earth. And like the whole point of it is, don't praise this Bible. And so I'm like, oh man.
Wow.
So I'm going to do some deep dives on that. And it's like, you know, it's all about pray for other people. It's about serving others. It's about, there is these densities that we're moving to a higher density, how to move to these densities. But it has like these battles between like, they're saying that that gravity is fluidic. Like there's not normal gravity, that everything's like, space is like a fluid, and it's vortexes that form around planets. So we're in a vortex. So we create our own heat, and it's got, it's crazy, man.
This seems like it might be a big deal for you.
Well, we'll definitely do an episode. It all, you know, how many times have I come to you where something was a big deal and it turned into an episode out of all 1,000 of episodes, you know?
Where did you get your hands on that book?
I bought that book when I read The Law of One, and it mentioned that. So I wanted to get a copy of the book. And
nice.
So, but I've even had conversations with Claude about it by uploading the PDF and saying, can you talk to me about this? Because some of it's I can't understand. It's like hard to understand. There's different parts of it that I couldn't understand. So I've gotten breakdowns and help. The other book that I was doing a deep dive on is Dion Fortune's Cosmic Doctrine. And man, she says that it's like written, it's a channeled, she's this magician who was like in the occult and in magic in Britain. And she had channeled this, and she said it's more than just reading material. It's like a gymnasium that works your mind, and it changes you as you listen to it. And it goes back into the history of the universe, when there was just one thing that was moving in one direction, and then suddenly an opposing force formed, and that's how the universe starts, because the opposition force, and then something else starts forming in a perpendicular, and it starts to create what's called the ring knot, and it's how galaxies form, and it's how atoms are formed, and then they create into something larger, and then like each of the planets are this ring knot, and it explains how you have to have darkness with light, because it creates the movement within the universe. And man, I'm going to do the breakdown for that, and that's going to be pretty crazy too.
How do you think we can use that information to like better ourselves? Like if you were to incorporate that into a meditation or something, what would you be saying?
Well, I really think that the perspective of this, in the way it's changed my mind, it's an experiential thing. When you read the book, it's experiential, right? But the thing is, you have a greater, larger view understanding of why you have traumas, frustrating experiences in your life, things that don't seem to match. It pushes you. It becomes a catalyst, is what Ra calls it, a catalyst. And they use the word logos. That's why I was interested, because it's also using, it's talking about the larger entities and what they're doing. And so we ultimately realize that these forces, they're not good or bad. They're a part of consciousness that's expanding into this spiral that's moving upwards, and it changes your perspective of what you're actually dealing with when you're dealing with opposing forces. We always have had the good, the evil, the dark, the light. We've always had this oppositional force. And in these lower realms, it's kind of how we start to understand ourselves. We understand love through hate. We understand light through dark. We understand the contrast creates, and even on a basic level, when two particles are pushing against each other, that's how it starts moving. Otherwise, it would just be hovering into nothingness and the void. So to move out of the void, you need the contrast or opposition.
I have a question for you about this, because I've thought about this a lot. Like, you know, we hear people talk about dark energies, right? Is it important for somebody on their spiritual path to be aware of dark entities, to learn about them? Because I think about, you know, where you focus your attention, that's where your energy goes, and then you create more of that in your life. And I've thought that, like, you know, the more times I start thinking about dark entities, I feel like that they're like, I can observe them. But before, when I didn't even know they existed, they didn't exist to me. So I'm just curious about that. Like, for somebody new on their journey, do you think we need to know about that? Do you think you can not really focus your attention on that? What do you think?
I mean, I think it's a great question. And, you know, you get more of what you focus on. And so there's always an element to that. So what I have found is you find a process that you knowingly can cleanse your energies, and you focus on that. And then over time, you don't necessarily focus on the dark entities. There's always darkness and light. There's always dark entities that are involved. And what we learn about in the Law of One material is that these entities in particular, they can't show. You allow them in. You give them permission in. And they find your weakness. They, even in the Law of One material, you know, one of the people lose their life later. A dark entity is attacking them through the Law of One material, which is fascinating when you read about it, because what they're channeling is so pure and powerful that this entity had the right, according to them, to go. So what happens is it's able to get to them if it's something in you that opens up to that, right? So you're undergoing a process of—
What are the ways you can open up to that?
If you have anger. Oh, hey, we got Rachel in the house. Rachel's going to be here in a second. If you have anger, fear, frustration, any of those elements, then those allow ways to, you know, that you're invited in there.
Isn't that just a part of our humanness, though?
It can be. You know what I mean?
Or can it not be? Like, can you actually live a life without those things?
I think that if you retain a higher vibration, then you will absolutely. But I think that in some ways those things are us, and so we have to go through a process of acknowledging them and realizing it could be your great grandma that she doesn't even know. You know, I mean that we get brought down journeys. You and I both know from our journeys through addiction that you can end up on the wrong path, and you could be that dark entity. So I come to them. The secret to dealing with the dark entity is love. It's love in its purest form. That's the place. You know, if they're afraid of love, they're going to avoid you at all costs. It could mean that it changes everything for who they are. So I want to introduce the one and only Rachel Shamness. She was co-starred. Hey, Rachel. She was in one of my meditations. She has the most beautiful voice. She channels so many different things. She works with energies. And so Rachel, welcome to the Reality Revolution.
Thank you for having me. Hi, Kyle.
And Rachel, I don't know if you've met Kyle, but Kyle, you gotta bring Rachel on sometime.
Of course.
She channels, and she's got this operatic voice.
Who do you channel?
I channel a lot of different beings. I'm a trance channel, and I teach trance channeling. So, but the main person I channel is a blue avian called Alparvium.
Where's he from?
He is from, they call themselves the Kier, though we know them as blue avians. They are blue avian beings. Oh, there can also be other colors, but they are bird beings. And he is actually in a ship outside of Earth. Although he said it's not really a ship. He says it's a plane of existence, but we will call it a ship, so he will call it that.
I've always wondered about that. Like, are they actual ships? So that's
no,
cool.
he says everything is not what we think.
Rachel, we were just talking about this book, Owaspe. It's like this old cosmic Bible, and they mentioned that they go around in huge ships that can fly through the Earth. Like the ship could literally be. We're inside the ship right now because of the nature of them. Like the ships are not necessarily always outside of the planet. Like they're in such a vibration that we could just like they fly through us in their ship.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I was on a podcast and someone asked Alpar while I was channeling, asked him how he communicates with me, and then he said that they have this egg-shaped room with a chair, and he sits in it. And I was like, "What?
Wow,
That's not a question I ever thought to ask." Yeah.
Kyle, the thing is, Rachel and I are super fans of this book series called The Wandering Inn.
I'm reading
and
it.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's so
I wish
good.
I could explain. It's like this RP. It's like this. These people get transferred from Earth, and it feels like to them like they're in a game, but it's a real world, and it's got everything, magic and fairies. I mean, I think that the 18th book is the one I'm reading right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's
or
it called?
19 probably.
It's called The Wandering Inn. It's
Nice.
just this anyway. So, but
That
yeah, we're
sounds
just hanging
super
out.
cool.
We got everybody in the comments. Gay's here. Lori is here. So good to see you. We got Kathy and Candy, and anybody that I've missed. Rachel made a comment in there. It's good to see Candy, Brian, sorry. So, we got somebody says no music, please. Oh man.
Oh,
Okay,
really? I
okay,
love the
all right.
music. Come on.
We always have somebody that says that. It makes me
All right,
feel
maybe
so
we should
sad.
make this a vote, though, right?
All right.
How many yays? How many nays?
It's just it's not too loud, right?
I don't even hear it. Was it
Well, I
on?
turned it down since they said that, since I'm so sensitive to what people say in the comments. I am, man. Have you ever noticed Rachel and Kyle both have their YouTube channels? And so we're all in the YouTube, we live the YouTube life. And have you noticed how you can have like 30 really amazing comments where people are like, I love that episode. Thank you for lightening up my day. You're the best. And then one negative. Yeah. Oh man, I focus in on that one negative. Like everything else becomes like, okay, what's going on?
Yep.
Have you noticed that?
Dude, I've been there, man. I've felt bad for days about like some comments that people left early on in my YouTube career. Now I don't really care. It's like, all right, whatever. You just kind of know there's haters.
There are people who they come to your channel just to say something and then hope that they'll bring people to their channel.
Well, it's like interesting because now I can just observe like where they're at instead of taking it personally. It's like, all right, that person needs some love, like they really need some love.
Right.
I love what you guys were saying about entities because I work with that kind of clearing or teaching others how to clear entities and things like that.
Well, tell us, how do you clear negative entity?
Well, I mean, it's a Reiki master thing that I teach.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say that you're right. So for years, I would make them get out, like, get out, you're so gross, like, you transmuted. Right. I was like, F you, And then one time I was teaching trance channeling and one of my students had this beautiful channel and she was like, we have to give them love. And I was like, I don't know about that. So I tried it and it's so much easier. Wow. They don't actually, they don't love, that's for sure, but they will go.
No, love, they're like, they'll run away as fast as you can. Another interesting thing is to laugh at them. You know what, if you feel them in the room, like sometimes I can actually feel, I was sort of gifted that from my it's like a family thing where we can see the dead and other entities and things like that. But I don't notice it as much, as people that in my family that notice. But when you clearly notice that they're there, you can laugh at them and they run away. They don't like to be laughed at. They're very sensitive.
And interdimensionals hate love. Like if you send any love towards an interdimensional, even though they're sort of neutral, they're still annoying. They can mess with you, but they hate that. They will leave immediately. Yeah.
It's true. What I've in the Law of One teachings, in the Arcturian channel teachings, even when there's some discussions in Seth, they're all saying that love is like it's like the ultimate power. Like when you wield love, especially as a third density being, it's even a more powerful love because it's coming from a certain place and it's unstoppable. And that's the thing, is if we can open up to love, be secret agents of love, we can change the planet. We can do it together. If everybody can understand that love is more than just romantic love, that it's this sensation of oneness that we have with everyone, then it can totally change everything.
It can. It's
really
really
messed
important.
me up. Like I think it's because of the work I'm doing, but I really, really feel dark energies. They come into my house. I can feel them. I've been able to see them. It almost looks like there's an invisible cloak on something and it's coming in the room. They've
That's how I
sat
see
on
it.
me, gotten me completely cold to the point I can't move. And this
Wait,
has happened
what?
5 to 10 times. Yeah.
What do
Okay.
you do to stop it?
All right.
I mean,
I have
Can
never
you-
been able to actually.
All right.
It's
Do you
something-
remember
yeah.
when we did the LBRP at our event?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So for at our events, we do the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram in the room. And that is just, it's a classic process. I've taught it on my channel. It's a way for you to create a safe space, to call in the archangels,
Yeah, that's what I do.
to visualize light coming into a safe space. The
Mm.
reason it's good is that it's been done millions of times by people all over the world through history. So you're accessing a sort of historic memory that's coming through. And so get into a habit. It's almost like the metaphor is, it's like disinfectant. It's like a cleaning of the room. It's not like it's going to be super powerful right away, but the more you do it on a regular basis, the room starts to be cleared. The other weird thing that the law of one material that I've tried is cutting garlic. I mean, out of the blue, they have all these high concept is like, oh yeah, at your entrances, cut garlic or onions.
Have
And
you
use
ever
black
heard of
garlic.
I
violet?
like hate the garlic or something. I
You
find
ever
that
heard of violet
hilarious.
light? Because when I went out to buy
yes, that's what I would use. Violet light.
Yeah, he had the whole place decked out in violet light, and he said that beings will not mess with
Well,
violet
we have
light.
some
But you can
violet
do that
light.
with your mind. Oh, sorry, Brian.
Oh, true.
No,
true.
you can always interrupt us, but I got some violet light going a little bit in the background.
Oh, I got
Nice.
some too.
That pop, you see that? I
Maybe
see.
that's why I got the spirits.
But listen, brother.
There's a
first
bunch of
thing-
things you can do that will
Yeah.
keep them from coming in.
Salt. Wow.
So we'll listen to
Someone said
Rachel in a
salt.
second before I forget. So go around the room or your house, clap, and especially because you're moving houses a lot, clap in all the major corners around the walls and the windows. Don't touch anything. Clean your hands. Then what do you have, Rachel?
Well, one thing you can do is definitely you call in the angels and ask them to clear it for you. So if you don't have any kind of Reiki attunement, I really recommend Reiki. Being attuned to Reiki can help you raise your vibration, and then you can learn how to ward everything. But if you don't have that, then you just ask the angels to do it for you. It is their job. That's what they do, is they work with humans. And then you can also use crystals. You can put black tourmaline over the windows. You can put some quartz crystals on the four corners of your yard. There's you can use violet light. When you think violet light's filling this room, that's actually like a prayer to the angels. I call it angel fire.
Nice.
And when you
The
do
violet
that, then
flame.
yeah,
right?
and it's like, yeah, you can use any color, but obviously violet is the best because it's also like violet flame. Yeah, so they'll come in and help you. And the truth is that if you don't have the skills to do it yourself, if you call them in, they can help. And what I used to do before I was Reiki attuned, because I was messed with all the time, it was horrible.
Oh wow.
Especially when I was an opera singer, because I used to sing all this stuff where I was like dying or like, so distressed or whatever. So I used to get entities all the time. I just had no idea what I was doing. And they would get stuck on me. And one thing I would do is say, if you call in the angels in every molecule of the room, then there's no other space for anything to be. That really works.
Yeah. I also have amazing entities come to me, which is beautiful. So it's kind of just made me feel like, I'm good. But those dark
Let's call
times are
those
really
in.
tough. Yeah. But I'm curious, how did you figure out you're a trance channel? And do you do like the similar thing as Daryl Anka and people like that? Like how did
Oh, you just muted yourself. Do you have a cat?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
All right. You got to
Wait.
unmute, brother.
Hit the
There we
space
go.
bar.
I told
There
you
we go.
it wasn't me. It was the spirits. I don't
See, there you go. It
Well,
was.
you might need a house clearing.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
Everybody send me some love. So yeah, I don't know. Did you hear my question?
So how did I learn I was a trans channel? Okay, well, I have kind of a long story, but
Yeah,
I'll
we
try to make it
love
short.
long stories here.
Okay. Well, I was an opera singer. I sang, in America, I sang in South America, well, Central America and in England. And then I really wanted to have a baby. So I had a baby, and then it all just kind of went. So then I moved away from New York, and I'm married. We moved to Baton Rouge, which is my hometown, for a while. And while we were there, I just felt like my career was just like going worse and worse because I couldn't go to all the things. And it was awful for me because I just felt like I spent my whole life for this, everything. But I was so distressed. Like, what am I going to do with myself? Like, I really thought this was my calling. And now it's just totally gone. And so I started teaching voice and raising my baby. But one day we were in this horrible car accident, and I was already spiritual. So I had, I'd learned some things like angel fire and things like that, but not a whole lot. But I was in this car accident where it was like slow motion. I could see this woman coming. She was running like 2 lights. She was coming straight for where he was 3 years old sitting. And it was really bad. And I knew that I either had to press on the gas or the brake. And like my husband was in the back. Like, I don't know. It was horrible. So we ended up flipping. It was so scary. I thought we were going to die. But there was a couple of things that saved our lives, which could not have been an accident at all. And because of that accident, all these things happened. I had been looking for someone to help me with Reiki. And I finally, like, looking, I couldn't find anyone. Suddenly, I have a friend who does Reiki. You should go to her. That will help you, because we were just wrecks. And then through her, I just started studying Reiki. I started studying all these things. And then one day she said, why don't you come? This woman's going to teach us how to be trance channels. And I was like, oh, I really don't want to do that. It's not like ghost. Like, I don't want to do that. But I had been told that I was a medium, which is really crazy. I was talking to this medium, and she said, she was talking to my uncle who was passed away. And he said, you're a medium. You're supposed to do what she's doing. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Like, you're talking to someone who's dead. How in the world would I do that? Like, I have no idea. And she was like, oh, I've been meaning to tell you that. So she sent me, she was actually the one who sent me back to the Reiki practitioner and said, have her teach you to be a medium. So she had started to teach me all this stuff. And then this woman came in and she taught us to trance channel. And I did it. And it was really crazy because I thought, this is another thing that's going to take me like 20 years to learn. Maybe I'll be a sound healer. I'll use my voice, but I'll have to learn all this stuff. It's going to take forever. But then what happened was I just channeled this elf being who's my healer guide. And he came through and started doing all this healing. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so easy. I can just channel the healing. I don't have to learn everything. Because when you're an opera singer, you have to learn everything, like everything. It's so deep. And it takes so many years. So that's really what happened. Then I started practicing. I started doing sound healing by channeling it. And I started doing it. And then the Fae came to me, the fairies and elves and all different kinds of Fae elementals. And they said, you know what? You can attune people with your voice. And I was like, okay. So I got a few guinea pigs and, friends, and I attuned them, and it worked, which was crazy. So then I started attuning people to all different kinds of beings, attuning them to the Fae, attuning them to galactic beings or whoever was coming through, angels, their guides. And then people begged me to teach it. So then I started putting together a class and I downloaded it. So my guides gave me so many classes that I just downloaded, and I've been teaching for years. So I teach people to be trance channels all the time. Yeah. And I love to teach trance healing. That's like my favorite. Part of my course.
Kyle, you got to check out our meditation we did together. She sings on the meditation.
Oh, that was fun.
They're like, it's like a light healing. You could sing for us if you want. If you want to channel for us, you can do that as well. We would always love that.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to do that? All right.
Sure.
Kyle, you open up. You're the best at the first question.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm happy to.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything we need to know, or just we can ask anything?
You want me to channel Alparvium? You can ask him anything you want.
Is there a specific energy that's feeling like it wants to come through?
Well, he's been here ever since
Nice.
Brian said, "You want to come on?" Then Alpar was like, "Yeah, like."
Oh, okay. All right. Then that tells us what we need to know.
So he's a blue avian, and they call themselves the Kir, is what they tell me. But
Cure?
the Kir, like Kir,
Oh, okay.
Here.
which actually I heard from another channel that they had a similar word. I've never heard that from anyone else, but that's what he tells me. And he
It also sounds like an entity from The Wandering Inn.
could be. So they're 8th dimensional, and they but he doesn't. They don't have a planet anymore, from what he tells me. So he's like in the ship with all different kinds of beings, and so his light path or his purpose is to help. So he helps them connect to humans, and I help the humans connect to them. So we kind of work together. We had a life together in the past.
Oh,
So.
wow.
That's how it works. So I can channel him, sure.
Yeah.
And he'll give a healing too.
Oh, we love healings.
Okay.
Love them.
We do.
All right, let's see. I am Alparvium. And yes, I am a blue avian. We do call ourselves a Cure. We do help you in every way. There are many of us in many places here outside of your Earth space. We are here to help you all who wish to connect, who wish to work your way to an ascension, higher space of your light body. We are here in all places to help. I am not with many blue avians. I am with many beings from many places. We are a mixture of many beings, and we are here to help. There are so many of us in this space. And yes, it is true, because we are not in the density that you are, that we can come through your Earth space. That is true. And we can manipulate energy in ways that you could never imagine, because the way that you imagine energy is fixed, or perhaps you know better, but in your everyday life, that is what you experience. You experience this third density, and that's what you understand. And yet energy can be anything, and we can use it in any way that we wish. And the higher that you go in your own dimensional frequency or density, the higher you go, the more you can move it, the more you can change it. And that is exactly what will be happening within the ascension system, within the ascension time, that you are gaining more light in your body, you are releasing more density, and you are learning how to work with energy. And you begin with things like the law of attraction. You begin with these laws that you learn in this space that you feel are metaphysical, are outside of your body, but they are just the laws of the universe that have been hidden from the 3D for so long. And you are now learning, and you have questions.
Yes, it's nice to meet you.
It is nice to be here.
Is there anything you'd like us to know about how the energy is changing on our planet right now specifically?
Right now, specifically, it is very dense, and you are experiencing a cycle of returning energy that you have already released, or you have felt was gone, may be showing itself to you again. And this is very frustrating for the humans that I see, because you feel that you are past this. You are past what is maybe showing itself to you, or has in the past 4 weeks, or will in the next 3 weeks. It is an energy of what you are releasing as density. And so it is the last release of this energy that you have still held in your body for so long. It must be released. So you may be experiencing something heavy. You may be experiencing something hard in this time. This is a great energy that is coming up and releasing. And you are also on the edge of so much discovery. For many Earth beings will learn about extraterrestrials and many things that they do not believe in that you know exist already. And they will see that there is much more to this world, though much of the disclosure will be false. It will open the eyes of many, and it will be very interesting to see.
How soon do you expect us to start to receive real disclosure and real evidence of extraterrestrials in our timeline?
In the timeline that you are currently on, you will begin to get bigger drips of information in 4 weeks. It may not be exactly what you are wanting yet, but they are dropping as much as they can to warm the audience, so to speak. And by the end of the year, there will be much disclosed, and there will be many in awe and complete disbelief, and yet mostly convinced. There will always be those who will never be convinced.
You had mentioned that much of disclosure will be false. Could you expand on that?
There is much disclosure from the elite that is false to throw you off of your trail. It is a much interference in your world to keep you from living your path, and that is distraction, terrible happenings in the world. It is depression of money. It is many things that are being thrown at you at once. You are already overloaded with so much media. Now you are being thrown this way, that way, this way, that way, to keep you off balance. And the disclosure that is happening is planned to make that worse. It is from the negative beings on your planet who control most of the planet. However, we all know they will never win. It is only a temporary hold that they have on this planet. And so there is a larger plan of releasing information that's not quite true enough that you might think, yes, that resonates, and yet not true. It is never going to be the truth. All the world is a stage. It is so true because there is so much happening that is not truly real. It is distraction, duality, to force you to come into darker feelings, to force you to be confused, to be overwhelmed. That is all the energies that are being thrown, but not to scare you, for you are all spiritual here, and you know that this does not need to truly affect you. You can rise above it with your own energy and your faith in your own self and your own energy, and all that are here to help you. There are so many here on earth to help. Many angels, beings of all kinds, many galactic beings from all places here right now to help. And you have the Fae as well. You have all types of energies. These are all here for you.
Is there anything we can do to balance the negative entities' power as beings of light?
Yes. Love, feeling a lightness of being, finding what brings light to you. Nature, of course, is always very helpful. Go outside more. Find what makes you light inside and do it more. Do not watch too much of the news. Do not cement yourself into this 3D world. Separate yourself a bit and stay in your spiritual practices. The more that you can meditate and come to center, the more that you can release energies that are not yours and ground into the 5D earth. All of this is very important. And spiritual practices like this must be collected and learned, put into a toolbox for you to use. and that will help you. And the more that you ask for help, the more help will come to you. If you don't know what to do, then ask for help. You have many spirit guides who will step forward and show you the way in whatever way that you will receive it. So trust your intuition, trust what you are feeling, and that will lead you where you need to go.
Could you tell us as much as possible about the ships and planes that you call ships, and how you interact with them? I find that really fascinating.
Our ship is an energy. It is in a fold of space-time. It is a plane. And Earth is a plane of existence. And we are in this fold. It is a protective space that we can reach many, and nothing can affect us. We are outside of any law that says that we cannot help, because we are in this space. And there are many like this, and there are many ships all around. You cannot always see them, but sometimes you might. Sometimes you might see them. Sometimes the veil is thinner. Sometimes you have raised yourself up to a vibration which allows you to see more through the veil. And there are many here that do that. The Palladians, the Arcturians, and many Andromedans and Syrians and many more come together, and their ships are often seen. Our ship is a little different. It is more like a city. It is very large, and we have many in it. And we have been in this place for a very long time. And so we have dibs on this spot.
So if we were to envision it, if suddenly your ship were to appear, could you tell us what it would look like if we could see it with our human eyes?
If you could see it, it would be a much like a saucer, but very large. It would look like, This is Rachel. He's kind of showing me like Star Trek, like the Enterprise or something. Except it's like a clamshell. Like it's big. It's more. It's like two plates, and it has these like square windows.
You have to draw it for us at some point.
Let's see. Let's bring him back in. See if we get. He's looking for words in my head. Wait, let me bring it in.
All right.
If you could see us, you would certainly see us, because we are very large, but you would only see the front because the rest of us is cloaked, and we only peek out as much as we are able or need to, and keep the rest of us hidden. So more circular. And yes, like this.
Amazing.
I just want to clarify on something you said. Am I hearing you correctly that you said Palladians, Andromedans, Syrians, and Arcturians will all travel together on ships?
No, they travel with their kind. There are ships of Arcturians and Palladians and Syrians and Andromedans, many of those, closer to the ground. Those are the ones you see more often.
Gotcha. Could you just explain a little bit more about how you use your cloak?
The cloak of the ship?
I think you said that there was like a cloak you put on so that you can't be seen.
It is over the ship, yes.
Oh, okay.
It is like a fold of time space. And we are like in a pocket of this space.
Wow.
It's just so cool to imagine that there's all of these ships. How old are you as a being? How long can you remember in your memory?
I would say 800, but you would say 8,000. For the turn of your planet is different than mine. So 8,000 Earth rotations. We have been around a very long time.
Was there a time on your original planet when it was still around, when it was like what's happening on Earth now?
No, not for our planet, but for many others that we have helped.
Could you explain a little bit more about your planet?
Our planet was a society of beings in many, not many, places of work. We have almost a caste system, but I don't want to say it in that way, for it is different. There are the Kir that are priests, as you might think of them. There are the Kir who make everything run efficiently. And there are Kir who, and that is about the planet, make the planet run efficiently. It would be like workers, except that in a higher dimensional space, it's not work. There's nothing like janitorial services or anything. It is just about flow. And there are those who help with younger beings who train. And we go through each one of these positions to truly learn. And we do live a long time, but I have lived longer than most. And we are still here, though our planet has imploded with its age and time. And many of us are on ships, and we are not all together, for we travel with others to lead them and help them.
It sometimes feels like the world is going into a period of chaos. Is this all disinformation, or is this a sign of what we're experiencing as we shift? Can you explain what's happening on our planet?
It must get more chaotic and must get worse to change. What you're experiencing is the split of the 3D and the 5D. There are two, I don't want to say timelines, but it is like timelines. Well, there are timelines within, but it is a true split of two worlds. It becomes two parallel, alternate realities. And what you're experiencing is the watching of the third D. This one is getting worse and worse. And yet you are on this higher plane, this higher timeline, yet they are still connected for quite a while. And so you are still seeing all that is happening in this lower density world. And it is still affecting you in many ways, yet not truly affecting you. You will find that it is outside of the worst effects for you. You are still able to go on as you witness what others have chosen to experience. You must know that those who choose the third dimensional timelines, the third dimensional path, they have come here to experience that. That is what they wish to learn in this life. And so that is what they're doing. For you, you have come here to experience how to be enlightened in a place that is so dense, where you had to learn every bit that you have learned about enlightenment yourself. And that is your path. And yet you're still seeing this. The chaos of the third dimensional matrix will continue to degrade. That is part of it.
If you had somebody that you like had a great relationship with, and recently it just seems like there's like that it's just not meant to be. It's almost like this complete pull away from each other. Would that be a sign that maybe they're heading to the other Earth? And how is that going to happen? Is it going to be two Earths existing at the same time, or is there going to be an entire split where we separate?
If you are feeling that it is not parallel, working together, it can be more than just the split, but it could be the split. But mainly it becomes like a computer program, a matrix. It's truly like similar to the Matrix movie, this 3D timeline. That is why it is called the 3D Matrix. It becomes a program of experience that breaks away from the true path of the earth as the earth recalibrates itself to what it was before. And as it does that, you will feel and experience this change with it. And everyone who is not coming will experience a completely different reality that is more like a computer program that they will eventually wake up from when they die and return to their higher self.
Kyle and I have been doing some work recently where we facilitate people to connect with their future self. And this has led to really powerful moments and experiences. We would like, from your higher perspective, what that means, what is happening when we connect to a specific future self in our timeline, how that works. Can you help us to understand that?
Well, there is no time. You can contact yourself at any time. You can bring your consciousness out of the 3D and forward in time to connect with this part of you very easily. It is what we do. We are here connecting with you at this time, but we are outside of time. So in the next instant, we are also talking to you 10 years from now or 5 years ago. And so, yes, you are contacting yourself, but what you are doing is contacting yourself on a timeline that you wish to connect closer to, correct?
Correct.
So there are many timelines, and you are selecting the one future you that you would like to cement into that timeline, and it is very effective. You should continue to do this because it makes the line stronger, and it places your concentration on where you'd like to go, and that will bring you there, and you will find everything falls into place to go there. It is not always easy, for if you are tangled in a lot of density, you will have to work through it to get there. And
Any
that could
suggestions?
be the answer to your other question, Kyle. You are working towards another higher timeline, and so that relationship is not in that one. There's something better.
You had mentioned at the very beginning of this conversation that your civilization manipulates energies in ways that we couldn't even imagine. How are you specifically manipulating it?
There's much we are not allowed to do. We must wait. But we can manipulate our own energy. We can make our ship in nothingness, unseen, in the pocket. We can open a pocket. We can place ourselves where we cannot be seen. We can make ourselves invisible. We can move from one place to another without walking the distance. We can create anything with our minds. This is all very much closer to you than you can imagine, for this begins in the 5th dimension, where you can truly bring things into place, and it also can be in the 4th dimension as well with your mind. So that's how you, perhaps the word manipulation sounds like a lower density word, but it is just about moving things around to create what you would like to create. It is something you are learning by using the law of attraction. And yet later you will do it with just a thought. And you may already find that you manifest with just a thought. Sometimes, not always, positively.
Do you want to hang out tonight? Just kidding, but not really.
Hey, feel free to come and hang out with us at any time. Please.
You make me break out of it.
My bad.
It's much harder to hold them in than it is to.
Rachel, can you do an energy healing?
Oh, yeah,
like
sure.
You had mentioned? Sure, yeah.
Yeah, let's do a timeline. Seems appropriate, right?
All right, let's
Channel.
go.
That'll be Alparvium. Maya Suryo Dogoku Hamanana Diato Ayana Kuyo Yala Dogusimana Diatuku Ayana Kuyo Lama Yala Toto Siabaku Ayana Korean Simana Garcia Garcia Pavarius Minaya to Kurkisia to Spidia Storia Lagati Ayalo Amado to Siramanatia Ayona Yokoshimanaria Suryo Ayola Kuyamana Yasoro Kursinagara Krishimana Kasia to the Kustu Ayanania to the Kursimana Krisia Dariata.
Oh wow, thank you.
That was cool. He was showing me like the timelines and clearing them and then going in the middle and then like a motivational push right through the center to the one that you want. That was kind of neat.
In talking with you, you've been able to actually channel your future self, right, Rachel?
Mm-hmm. I've done that with you. Yes.
You've done that with me. So I think that's so amazing. So you can ask questions and get direct answers. It has to have
really
been
helpful.
Yeah. What
That put me in a trance.
you also like channel a dragon type energy? How does that work?
I can channel dragons. Yeah, I channel a lot of fae. So fae beings, fairies, unicorns.
How similar is the fae that's in the Wandering Inn to the fae that you're channeling? Do you find any similarities?
No.
Not at all. They're kind of like playful and jokesters and stuff, right?
They're silly. You know, the fae really, really like just to be acknowledged and to be thanked. And as long as you thank them and acknowledge them, they will help you a lot. And as long as you're nice to children, pets, and the environment.
Children, pets, and the environment. Have you ever had advice on like on diet? Has that ever been a thing where like they're guiding you on diet?
They'll help you with diets. Yeah. They'll help you with relationships, love, and health.
Oh, very, very cool.
That's there, nice. Especially fairies. Yeah, you can call fairies for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Rachel, where can people find you?
I'm at soundwavesheal.com or Soundwaves YouTube, Facebook.
So just go to Soundwaves Heal on YouTube. That's the name of your channel.
School. Yeah, I have a school page.
You have a school account. So you got 3 school accounts going right here. So that
cool.
That makes our day. So very, very cool. So if you want to stay with us here, we're gonna answer questions from people in the group, and we'd love to get your commentary. Before I go into that, I did want to announce just to remind people we still have our event that we have in Maui that's going to be on May 14th through the 17th. And rooms are starting to sell out. There are only a few more rooms available, and we're so excited to host that event. We have an event in Anaheim that's going to be coming up in July. That's going to be absolutely amazing. Daryl Anka is going to be speaking with us. We have an event in Austin that we're gonna you should in the next couple of days you should see the link for that, and that's going to be in September, and we're also going to be in Sedona in November. And so just a few more tickets. We'd love to see you in Maui and in Anaheim as well, right?
Yeah, and during those events we're spending the entire time like connecting with that future self and really integrating into that now. It's been the most powerful experience of my life. And Paul Selig will be joining us in Maui, and Daryl Anka will be joining us in Anaheim.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so exciting to have that special place where everybody can sort of get together. And so it's
such a jam, man. It's like the coolest thing hanging out with the Reality Revolution family. So if anybody wants to party with the Reality Revolution, it's such a good time. We do karaoke, the whole deal.
Now PG5D says, do you work with the Ori? Now, isn't the Ori from Stargate, the TV series? Are you talking about Stargate? I have not. Have you heard of the Ori, Kyle?
I have not. No,
I haven't heard of the Ori. Does anybody have a question? I'm going to start looking for questions. If you have a question, we can get we can take. Let's see. Questions. Do we see any? Do we see any there? Welcome, beauty. Okay. you can ask questions just by putting in a comment. If you're on YouTube, you can put it on chat, but I think this gathers up questions. If we have people right now on Instagram and Facebook, I even have people on Twitch. You can now find Brian Scott, the Brian Scott, on Twitch. I was just going to go check it out in a little bit. It'll be, we have people popping up. If you put your comments there, somebody said the future of healing is sound. I believe
Yes.
it's a huge component and eventually some of those med beds that we all imagine, this place where we can all get in the med bed, a lot of that is going to be a manipulation using that lower density word, a way of using sound to integrate and change cells. And it's going to become a science that's going to be like super amazing.
It's light and sound, I think, it's the same thing, just expressed differently.
When we sleep, are our interactions physical? If in the dream space, I believe in some moments it can just be your imagination running, but I do believe that we travel to places in sleep very often in the astral realm, and we do have physical interactions. In fact, it's more likely than not, but every situation is different. But what do you think?
I think so. I think you're going to alternate realities. That's why they don't make sense when you come back. Or sometimes they're higher dimensional realities. So it gets all scrambled when you come back. What do you think, Kyle?
I don't know. I just had the most vivid, amazing dream last night. That's all I can think about. It was so crazy. But it felt physical to me while I was in it. I'll say that.
No, I've many times woken up and it was absolutely some sort of physical interaction. Sometimes, I'm shocked that I'm having the interaction, but sometimes it does happen. Yeah. We got, can Rachel help me with the fairy to give me an ex-wife back in my life? The classic ex-wife.
Classic question.
The classic question. Hey, when you start working with this stuff, a lot of people want to get their ex back, and I get it. I mean, it's that ultimate example of longing when you lose love. So what do you say, Rachel?
I really feel like you should always go forward and that there's something better for you. But the answer is always to work on yourself and then see where you're at. And that will always help. If you're meant to get back together, the only thing you can do is work on yourself.
Yep. Does anyone care about past lives anymore? Everyone is watching Osiris, Odin, and Isis, Medusa, Thoth issue corrupting any of my memes. So I don't quite know what he's saying there. Yeah, I'm not quite there, but yes, I do believe that we are worried about past lives for sure. Can anyone channel? Candy, yes, anyone can channel. In fact, you have already been channeling. You don't know it. A lot of times you're running through thoughts and you think it's your own thoughts, but actually you're channeling. My belief is that everybody's channeling way more than we think so, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's usually what happens when I teach people to trans channel. They say, hey, I've been doing this.
Exactly.
I used to do that too. Because yeah.
Talk to me about when you're channeling you think it's your own imagination, how to differentiate moments when it's yourself and others. Is there some technique that you've learned to differentiate something that's coming through you than something that's coming to you?
Well, yeah, once you start channeling and you really understand it, then you can always tell. I mean, I think that's really what I was saying. Once people learn how to do it, then they can recognize it. But how would you recognize it else? Okay, so I used to channel and not realize it, but people would ask me advice and I'd be like, why are they asking me advice? And I would give them this great advice and I'd be like, where did that come from? That is so crazy. That's actually really good advice. I should take that. And I would think, what? That's so weird. And later I realized I was channeling, but then I didn't have any concept of it. So I think if things are like coming through you, or it's just, and you can kind of feel it, when you channel, you're coming to a higher dimensional space, so it's like, it feels like meditating, so you start to feel, and I start to feel like zony, like sometimes I can feel a channel like trying to come through me. I'm like, I used to think I was really ditzy, but it turns out that I was just channeling half the time, or things were like coming through me. Yeah. So I think it feels different.
Right. It does. I've gotten better at it. It's taken me years to realize what's coming through. It's taken me years to even like I recently, Kyle had me channel. I mean, it was before, it was definitely me coming through, and like I mentioned to Kyle, it's a 50% thing sometimes where I'm still sitting there and I feel like I'm influencing the channel, and that
It's
took me
hard
a
not to.
long time to figure out how to do that. I'm still maybe 60%. I think the real channelers I trust are like you or others where you've done it for a long time and you get better at it over time, right?
Well, I think that the trick is to just go deeper. A lot of times you think you're controlling it and you think it's going to go or not controlling it, but you're worried about controlling it, or you think it's going like, I know just what he's going to say, they say,
Right.
and then something totally different comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
But it's really about going deeper and deeper. That's why trance channeling is a good way to learn how to channel, because then you can relay what's what I call regular channel,
Right.
conscious channeling.
What is
you can do that a lot easier.
channeling, like from a consciousness perspective, that makes it different than other channeling? Are you going into like
What,
theta?
when you say trance channeling, why is it different?
It's different because the regular channeling or relay channeling, conscious channeling is like he's telling me, like when I just said that about the fairy, like he's telling me that you should just move on with your life and heal yourself, and you'll find that things are better. That's what I'm hearing. But if Alpar is talking through me, I'm just listening, like, what's it, I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. There's no, it's just coming out. Yeah. So
okay,
I've let him speak through me, and it's something you want to do with beings that I mean, it's not something you want to just go try. You should have some protections. I mean, I teach the whole methodology of it.
Yeah. Well, Sacred Night Rose Healing says, is getting downloads the same as channeling?
I would think so. I mean, yes, because you're getting information from the unseen. That's what channeling is. And mediumship, I think it's all the same. And even Reiki is channeling, light language.
When I mention downloads in my episodes and stuff, to me, I'm actually referring to when you receive these, it's like a pocket of information, like in software terms, like you just opened up the zip file and it's like all this stuff that happens more at once, which can be a channeling, but it's also an element of transference from consciousnesses. So sometimes channeling isn't like a download, but it can be a part of the downloading process, at least in my experience.
Yeah, that's a better way to describe it.
Like, what's the definition of channeling? Is it receiving higher dimensional information and sharing it?
I mean, you can also receive lower dimensional information.
Specifically entity related. There's a big difference,
Yeah, you're just most people are channeling a lot from their spirit guides already. But it's just you're receiving this information from the unseen, from through the veil, or from, and channeling can be too, like when you say you see things, like that's I mean, that's kind of, it kind of crosses over with clairvoyance, clairsentience, all that. You're channeling some information that's not really yours.
Yeah. So when I do heart coherence, which is just rhythmic breathing through the heart and then like accessing elevated emotions, I tap, my whole system harmonizes. And in that moment, I'm tapping into a much higher vibrational information. So I believe that's like channeling to like a lesser degree, but I flow some beautiful stuff when I'm in that state.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's channeling. Yeah. And I think Reiki is channeling, you're bringing that
energy channeling. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people in Reiki are great channelers.
Well, Reiki opens your channel a lot.
It does. So we got, how about hybrids currently incarnated in human biological forms? Is that a frequency bridging where the human body acts as a grounding rod for non-terrestrial consciousness to stabilize Earth? Does anybody...
Let me read that 4 times.
About hybrids currently incarnated. So the assumption is that hybrids are currently incarnated in human biological form. Generally, I think that's hybrid. That's people are incarnated. I don't know a lot about hybrids that, most hybrids are actually just in a human body. That's the Wanderer, that's the Starseed, and they are and can be, when they awaken to who they are, become a frequency bridge where they carry certain energies just because of their presence. And I think that's what you mean. Hey, this is Luis, Kyle. Luis from Maine.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's a great question.
So yes, what I think is happening is there are energetic hybrids. You become hybridized when you access a version of yourself that sort of awakens in your body, and that can allow energies to flow through you that you normally don't have, which can end up being a frequency bridge. That if I think what you're getting. Does anybody else want to say anything?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I would say yes. I believe the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And I think the emphasis is more to stabilize the earth than on the frequency bridge.
Right.
Yes. I do bring through a lot of beings who want to share their healing modalities. And that's something that I do in my work. And they will share a healing modality. And sometimes they share them so that you will ground it into the earth and help earth move and change into ascension.
What commonality from these beings is it's almost a desperation, but a huge joy in serving others. And it kind of, you get the feeling is like they it's hard for them to serve others from the place that they're at. And they really want to help you, but the only way they can do it is through you. And so they get very excited when they make the connection and they're working through you. Do you get that? I get that a lot. It's like, oh yes, finally we get a chance, because they're out there just craving
That's what they say usually.
this opportunity to serve others. They're just all about, because it helps them move on. It's like they're playing this game, and the more people they can serve, then the higher up the ladder they can go. But it's harder for them than us. It's much easier for us to serve others. For them, they have to work through us, and a lot of times that can take a long time just to find the right channel.
Yeah. And also, they just keep trying to get you to get their attention. I mean, they're trying to get your attention, and then we go, oh, I just made
there's
that
a lot
up.
of that. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Hey guys, I got to jump, but it was awesome meeting you, Rachel.
All right, Kyle, it was good. It was great.
Love to have you on my channel, and I love everybody here. I hope to see you soon.
Send love to your kids. You have a good time, brother.
I love you,
All
Brian.
right.
Take care, buddy.
You can still stick with me, Rachel. It's cool. I sometimes spend a while. If you're in a hurry, I get it, but yeah, we appreciate it. Are the dark forces that run the world politics opposition to each other, or one of the same, causing polarity in the world? I do think that there, just with anything, there's complexity.
Yeah.
There's different levels and variations in it. But on a larger scale, when I look at things like I was talking earlier about Owaspe, this Bible, and then the Law of One material, and like the Arcturian channels, a lot of other that you've channeled, is that the two forces are kind of like serving the self and serving others. And those serving the self means manipulation, domination, control. It's a control, and it's like the more they can dedicate their life and journey to controlling others, the better chance they have of moving on. So their spiritual journey is literally about dominating you. And so those dark forces are just playing out a journey where they're going along a path to try to move to the next level like we are. They may not know it. They have this soul's urge to go and but it's a very small, the thing that's interesting is it's a very small group of people. I'm reminded, I just got done watching the documentary on Netflix, Trust the Prophet. Oh my God, it's like the #1 TV show. Have you
No, I haven't heard of it.
So it's like, it's kind of based on the fundamentalist Mormon sects that, for like, where there's one dude that has like 30 wives, and it shows behind the scenes how he's totally manipulating them. And he's using law of attraction at language with them, saying he's the prophet, dominating, saying that you have to do what I say or you go to hell, type of thing. And I was just watching that going, oh, there's an example of that service to self, like this guy, But what's your vibe on it from what you've channeled?
What is the exact question? What about
are the dark forces that run the
are they in opposition to each other, or one of the same?
Oh, I see. Mean, also, there's that too. So all the dark forces, in my opinion, are all against each other. They don't unite very well.
There's also a lot of things too that. So part of, I think that there's a lot of confusion about grays, because I think some of them are slaves or being manipulated by and some of them aren't very good, are on the negative scale, or what we consider negative. Some of them are being controlled by the reptilians. Some of them are healers too.
Right.
So,
I just think it's just like
It's very
humans.
complicated, I think.
Yeah, there's
I
there's good and bad for everything, right?
yeah, I
So
just, I just kind of channel whoever is of the light. I only work with beings of the light, and I channel whoever will come through and wants to give a message and is of the light. And I've channeled different types of beings.
is this war going to be over soon? What about is Jesus Christ really going to be coming back our earth, or is it Christ energy? So my view is we've always been in a war. From if you
Yeah.
go back through history, there's always been a war, and there always will be. It's part of the simulation that we're in.
Mhm.
And
Part
so
of the
when
3D
we're
matrix.
3D matrix. So when we
Yeah.
move on to, we just kind of notice it, and it's the story that's programmed that's running along over here. The war ends when you end it, when you move outside of it into your own matrix, your own reality, and that
Right.
you'll just sort of watch it as this thing that's experiencing.
That's kind of what Alpar was saying and showing me.
Right.
It's like it may affect you some, but it's not affecting everything. It's like you're still okay.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. So, what's the most crazy information you've got from one of your channels that you was like, whoa, this is shocking. This is crazy.
The elves told me there were 6 Fey portals on Earth, and that one of them went straight to Sirius. I thought that was kind of crazy.
So it's
There
like
were
a
6
cave you walk into? Or when you say
It's like
portal, is it like
it's like and they say not everybody can walk through them. They said it's like a Fey portal. It's like an invisible, it's like the Bermuda Triangle, something like that. And then I think I did channel
You think
something
it's
about
like
Amelia
Wandering
Earhart
In?
that was crazy.
Do you think the portal could be like the Wandering In? You're like in this other world. You just walk through, and then it's like isekai.
I don't think it's like that. I think it's like, so the Fae tell me, so this is some crazy stuff that I channel about the Fae that I've not heard anyone else say, but they have said it to me so many times. I got to believe it. They say that Earth, the real Earth, 5D Earth and above, is Fae Earth. And like they are basically loaning it to us, but they're not that worried about it. So they're not, even though they're like concerned with the environment, they're not that worried about it because they can change it back in an instant. They just don't want you to like, purposely be messing with it too much. But they tell me, that Gaia is the mother planet, right? She's our mother spirit of this planet or this plane. And they also tell us that we have it all wrong. Like it's not flat, it's not round. It's like we have it completely wrong. It's just, and then it goes on and on forever. They talk about the ice wall. They talk about what all the lands beyond that. They say that everything that we have ever thought of exists. So the Wandering In does exist somewhere. And
Right.
And this dwarf, elemental dwarf, took me through. He took me through the earth to show me. And so he took me through everything we knew. And then we got to Antarctica, and it did look flat to me, but I don't think it's actually flat. But I'm not sure. They say it's not either. They say you can't comprehend it, and that we have everything wrong, and we're so lied to about everything. That's what they always tell me. So we kept going, and there was an ice wall, and then beyond that was green and green. Then we kept going, and then I saw like Narnia, and I was like, what? And then we kept going, and then I saw I saw land from a super obscure book that I read that hardly anyone, and I was like, oh, come on, now you're just making it up.
Yeah.
And he was like, every single thing that you come up with exists out here, and it just goes on, and with so much imagination and so much, everybody's thoughts, it just goes on and on and on and on forever. It never stops.
I strongly believe that. I believe that one of the reasons I'm so much into science fiction is because I've been to these worlds, and it's like I sometimes feel like I'm home when I'm reading these books. That's the feeling I get with Wandering In. I feel like it's just a comfort. It's like pulling my blanket up. I can just sit in that world. Right? I know. That's what Neville Goddard says. There is no fiction. Frederick Dotson, when I interviewed him, said there is no fiction. And so I believe, when we're reading these amazing bits of fiction, that it exists because if imagination creates reality,
it does.
Then all of those worlds, because the creator is so vast, so infinite, so amazing. Why not? Why wouldn't he? Of course, he would want to have tangible worlds like the ones we're imagining. He wants us to imagine to add to the layers of his universe or her universe, right?
Well, and have you ever talked to? I have friends who are writers, and they always say the same thing. It just is a download.
It's
I
a
mean, they don't
download.
say it like that, but that is exactly, they're just writing and all kinds of things.
Yeah. As a songwriter, Ed Nostick says, I think I'm channeling sometimes. I
I'm sure
agree
you are.
100%. Music's all about the channel. You're
Oh,
channeling something
Mozart
that's coming through.
channeled it and never wrote a wrong note, never erased anything. He wrote with that, an ink you couldn't erase, but he
Yeah.
never scratched anything out. He just wrote it straight down. He
Yeah.
heard the music in his head and he transcribed it. That's it.
Yeah. Then, question: how are we affected by the movement and alignment of the planets? Now, I'm going to say something that might be.
Don't get me started.
I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble because
Same.
I love everybody in my group, and I have people that are astrologers and things like that. I have to be very careful because my imagination is so powerful. If somebody tells me that the planets mean something for me, then it starts to happen. So there is a creative element to what you're saying, and it may be true, but I am the operant power. And so even if it's true, I want to have the ability to know that something's different. That's why Mercury is never effing in retrograde ever, and Jupiter has nothing. I can tune into their energies, but I will never let it affect me. Now, clearly, it's possible. It's possible that the moon affects us. We know that the moon can affect the water and gravity. And so the moon affects us. We know that the sun affects us. So why wouldn't they affect us? But if it does, I still am the operant power. Now, what do you say, Rachel?
I think that astrology is a map. It's the map you came in on. And if you never do anything more than check your astrology, it'll tell you all you need to know. But that you can rise above it. I've done disconnections to Mercury retrograde because I was born in Mercury retrograde, which makes me just like a mess sometimes. So I totally disconnected a few years ago.
Right. That's what I basically think I've done. It's like, I know it's doing something, like the electronics are getting messed up or things are happening, but I've disconnected from it. And that's the
because
thing
you have the power to do anything.
Because my real birth date is the beginning of the universe, not in August like I was born on this planet. If I tune into that birth date, the energies change. That's my true origin date, right?
Yeah, I think it's just a map. It's like, this is how you're coming in. You're super stubborn or you're, whatever, and you can, when you look at astrology too, it's either like the worst way you can be, or there's like a healed version of that. So I try not to, I feel the same way. If someone's like telling me this is going to happen, I feel like it's worse.
Right.
I'm just like, I can do whatever I want. Forget it. I don't care what it says.
Luis asks again, are we not always channeling from the unseen parts of us? Else we do is like a chicken running around with no head. Well, yeah, it can feel like when our thoughts are flowing to us, like we're running around with it, chicken with no head. But also we're always channeling from the unseen parts. And sometimes it's coming through in our subconscious and we're not aware of it. And I think what we are, it's, I liked somebody had the comment. It's like, we're human being in a human body. It's like we're a library card for those entities. They can access through our body, our world, and we're like the library card. They can come in through our end. So
that's why they like my singing, because they're like, "Oh, you can sing. We're gonna sing now."
Yeah,
but you don't have to bring it through like that. They're just like, "Ooh, singing."
Right. So, have you ever had one where so interesting aspect? The Law of One channelings. Carla Ruckert is completely out. She's laying in a bed.
You can go further out. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I interviewed Jim McCarty about it, she lost she was tired. It sucked a lot of her energy out when she went into that. They had to really take care of her and feed her, because it was a very intense, single band channel is what the entity called it. So, have you ever had a period where you felt tired afterwards, or it felt like it depleted your energy?
No, the way I teach it, that shouldn't happen. Yeah.
Okay.
So that might be something different. I don't know.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can go deeper and deeper. You just it just depends, depends how, it depends on the day and, how much, I just kind of ran in here today. So not as deep as normal, but it can go deeper and deeper. But when you practice it more and more, you can practice going out and out. But the problem is, then you have to record yourself so you know what you said. But even if I'm not completely out, it completely leaves me. I cannot remember it. I'll have to watch it back to see what I said, because it didn't come from me. If you think of it, it's easier to remember. But when it just came through you, I think that must be what it is. It just disappears. And when I do sessions, I have to be reminded. I'm like, what happened? What is she talking about? What did I say last time? Like, what? Well, who did I channel? What? And then they'll come back and they'll say, hey, it's this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Rosaria asks, what are your most favorite psychic hygiene rituals? We were talking about that earlier, where we can do the LBRP. You call in archangels, you bring in the violet light. Archangels is the way. Love is the way.
Sacred circles. Yeah. Sacred spheres, where you call in the angels in all corners. And
have you ever done Wicca style magic, like the the old, where you find some really amazing ritual under the full moon, and you place objects in certain places, and you create your divine circle, and you have a certain chant or prayer? It's okay, you don't have to tell us, but I have done that. I have done those kind of old, because I'm fascinated by it. I used to have a place in my old house. It was a perfect circle in the backyard, and it was even the lining of the linings in the cement, so that I could line it east, west, north, south.
I have that on my altar, north, south, east, and west.
Yeah. I feel like something really amazing happens when I do that.
That's part of my sacred circle. And I mean, it's on my YouTube channel. It's like you bring in the north, the south, the east, the west, and the angels that come with it. And I have a little altar here. I put a candle in the middle, and I do a whole ritual. I think rituals are good, whether they're old or new. The more that you do it, the deeper it becomes. And the more that you repeat the same action in the same place, the better it is. So like, it's really good to have a place where you channel or where you meditate, where you're building energy. Like I use this room, and the energy is so high from just so much work in here that I've done.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Very good point. And it's also just for meditation. If you have a place that you meditate, return to that place. I think it facilitates deeper meditative experiences if you're using the same place, just in general, even if you're not doing anything else. It's almost a physical anchor or reminder of your consciousness to enter into that deeper alignment.
Yeah. So I think it really builds energy.
Craig, is being a decent, kind person enough to go in the right direction? Yes, it is. Sometimes we make it difficult or complicated, and I encounter people that are fearful that they're not going to be able to ascend, or they're not doing it right. And really, you don't need to know the stuff that's being taught. If you can just step outside of yourself for a little bit, and then find the love in your heart for others, that's the first step. And it can express itself in the most basic and simple ways, with your pets, with your neighbors. And you're always guided into these situations where your kindness can really make a difference. If you are that, I do think that's enough. What do you
don't even have to do, you don't have to do some big thing or be a healer or whatever to be a light worker. You just have to improve yourself, be kind, and spread light, spread your joy. And that's maybe all what you're supposed to do. I mean, that makes a big difference. It really does.
Yeah. So,
thank you.
Kid of Wellbeing says your singing is beautiful. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
It's amazing. I've told Rachel that she needs to be doing like a full-on concert, and
I have taken your advice.
Oh yes,
I meant to tell you this.
Oh, tell me. We have a concert coming?
No, I started making music. So okay, you told me I needed to start making music, so I started making music, and I've added all kinds of Reiki to it. I've been putting it out on my channel, just YouTube right now, till I get a full album, and then I've been putting the light codes on top of it. And then my guide said to me, I think this might have happened with you. They said, you bring through light codes that are really very strong. You can bring through higher dimensional light codes than you're already doing. And this is not something, I'm always like, well, let me teach it. They're like, this is not something that other people can do or that you can teach. It's just something from all the practice that you've done, and whatever, it's just what you do. And they were like, you need to bring this through. So I started doing this new session where I make a piece of music with living light codes, and you listen to it a bunch of times, not just once, like a regular session. And it's been really cool. I like so much has happened with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all because of that session with you.
Oh, well, hey, I'm honored. That makes me happy
Yeah.
that we were able to inspire you. So, Kathy asks a question: is there a fairy portal in Sedona? We're going to be in Sedona in November. So, if you know of where a portal is, I mean, we're going to be in Bell Rock, but do you know, is there a fairy portal in
They,
Sedona?
they say no, but there's lots of
Oh,
galactic activity.
there's a lot of galactic activity.
Mhm.
All right, they're always there. The fairies are always there talking to you.
Yeah, this one was like, no.
No, like they're annoyed. Like they're annoyed. Like,
No,
oh, really?
just
Like that
silly.
kind of.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh,
a fairy elf. Yeah, it just went, no.
oh, okay.
They make
Well,
me
that's
laugh. I'm sorry.
cool. Candy's from Ohio. We got somebody from Texas. It's always amazing when people drop. Let's see.
QHHT is so cool.
Do
What
you think?
Mazzy's saying.
Oh, QHHT is amazing.
Yeah, it's really neat. Yeah.
Do you think some of the lightning strikes are actually energies coming in from higher sources rather than weather anomalies? Oh, that feels right to me, doesn't it? It's like a portal. The lightning could be a portal. We can ride in through the lightning, right?
I get a yes on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Get a yes on that. Oh, see?
How do you connect with fairies? You just you can just start talking to them. Just ask them to come in. And you can also give them a gift, like a little tiny crystal or a little cap. Like I use a bottle cap of like soda, or they like alcohol too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or
so you
tiny
leave it
piece of
out somewhere? Does it disappear?
No, they take the energy from it. You can take it. You can bring it back in 3 days, or if it's outside, you can just leave it for the ants. But
I'm going to be leaving something for the fairies then. I love that.
You should. So, they love that because that's what they like. You've not only just been like, okay, thanks. You were like, thank you so much. Here's a gift. I really have so much gratitude for you. And they're like, ooh, they love that.
Oh, all right. Stargate, I'm loving this conversation too. So glad that you could join us. Yes. Thank you. Always. Let's see. I got do you connect with fairies indoors?
Yes. Outdoors, I use, I have a tree that has a very interesting circle around it. I believe it's a fey circle. But indoors, I just use plants. So if it's, snowing or whatever, then there's all my plants have little crystals in it because I'm like, here you go. Thank you.
That's cool.
And they're inside too. They are.
Somebody asked, is Artemis Fowl have any truth about fairies? I mean, when you read about you can actually watch, there's an Artemis Fowl movie and I highly recommend it. Yeah. But it's a great book series that definitely has a certain angle to the fairies. I really would like to talk.
Is it about the Unseelie?
I'm not sure. The Unseelie, when I hear the Unseelie, I think of the Unseelie Accords, which is in the Dresden Files, one of the great book series written in the history of. Now, please, when you get done with Wandering In, you got to listen to the Dresden series. Now, the beginning of
Dresden series. All right.
Dresden Files. The
Dresden Files. Right. I'll read any book you tell me now.
All right. There might be like 20 books in that, but they're not as long as her books from the Wandering In. But and they have something called the Unseelie Accords, which is an accords in the magical world. It's like, imagine if Harry Potter got older and he was a private detective and just like average put a shingle up and said, I know magic. Like people like think he's weird, and he can't drive. He technology doesn't work around him. So like he has to drive an old car that doesn't have electronics in it, or it won't work. Dresden does.
There are people like that.
But he becomes a winter knight, and there's different there's different fairy realms. There's not just one. It's like the winter and then the summer, and
there are different fairy realms.
It has a very, very, very well thought out fairy world.
Oh, I'm gonna check it out.
They're also you got to be very careful about making being given any gifts from them. They will trick you with gifts in like, you know what I mean? And then you got to be careful about making promises or agreements with the fairies, because they're playful in that way in the story, in the series, in the story, right? Yeah, it doesn't mean it's real. But my thing is, when I read stuff like that, there's always a resonance, a remnant that maybe that author was also getting some information of what's really happening in the fairy realm, right? So that's why I like books like that.
Yeah, so that there is this thought of the unseelie fae, which are the negative fae, and they are, the ones who do things like that. And I there's some books about that where they talk about the unseelie. So I was really, I asked about it, and they said that the unseelie are gone from this plane, that they're not here anymore. So most of the time when you have, gargoyles or something that's supposed to, like, that's negative or more like a negative entity that's fae, it's more a shapeshifter than fae. Because the fae are not bad. It's kind of like they're not really that. They're just a shapeshifter. But if they can keep you from working with the fae, then they will. Yeah.
Right. So then I'm sensing tall beings that the fairies play around. Is that right?
Elves can be taller. Oh, giants can be really tall. Yeah, giants, Sasquatch, all those are also fae.
Oh, they're also fae. Okay, yeah, all right.
I have an oracle deck that I made. It's a fae oracle deck. It's called Elemental Magic and Manifestation. And when I went to make it, I just met so many fae, and then I met more. So it's got 37 different kinds of fae. So there's a lot of different. And then there's fae that's like polar bears are fae.
Is that on Amazon, the fairy deck?
It is. Yeah.
All right, on Amazon. So
you can look my name up. And I have a new fae journal that just came out.
A fae journal, yes.
Came out like 2 days ago.
I'm a sucker. If you look back I have a little section, and it's just a bunch of decks. I'm a sucker for them. I buy these oracle decks all the time. See,
there you go.
Oh yeah, see, if you look back here, I have something like that too, and I can just sit and just kind of like stare at them for a while, right? I just start staring at the decks.
You may never see me again. I'll have to fix it.
No, look at that. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, I want to make my own deck with my art. I've thought about doing that, but
you should.
What's the best way to do the deck? So if I want to do my own deck using my art and then creating because they're sigils, is there a place to go to create a deck that people, other people in the group may be interested in making their own deck? How did you do it?
So I went through Wonderland Publishing. Anna Frolic. She helped me do everything. Like I just brought the cards and the art, and I had the booklet, and she helped me put it all together and do it. But there's other ways to do it too. I've heard of. I think now she has a course that you can take. She's at Wonderland Publishing.
Oh, okay. All right.
And she's really great.
I love the way you touch your beard, Ryan. I do the same with mine. Yes. So last week when I did my live, I've been doing more live because I improved my camera setup. I noticed I was touching my face like I was like, I was like horrified. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I was touching it. So I've been really trying very hard to keep my, maybe I will touch. So yeah,
you learn a lot about yourself when you make videos. Don't you?
You notice when you like, oh, that's I had an itchy nose. Like I had an itchy nose, and then like sometimes like, oh, I got to itch it when it starts coming up. So let's see. We have anybody else that wants to ask a question? Where can I learn more about other realms? Any suggestions? The number one thing I've found, especially when in the spiritual world, is ask the question like you're doing now. And you will be led to, or in some cases, information will start coming to you in the shower. If you make it your goal and intention to find out about other realms, you'll be led to a book, you'll be led to a YouTube video, you'll be led to a channel, you'll be led to something will happen, right? What's your impression on that?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that I do when I teach channeling is teach people to believe in themselves. And we get so much information, and people just, we've been just told our whole lives that we're just making it up. And so everyone just thinks they're making it up, but you will get answers. Just believe what you're getting.
Yeah. So how do I bring in abundance and forgiveness? This is a good question for, and something that Rachel and I have both worked on for ourselves and our clients that we work with. It's a common question. It's one of the big questions, just as big as connect with my ex-wife. So I've tried to address this. It's a big question, but I brought that up because I want to ask you, what have your channels told you about abundance? What have you learned from them about finding abundance?
It's not much different than looking for the highest timeline. It's like there's an abundance stream, and then there's law of attraction, identifying with lack. I mean, everything that you talk about in your channel is like, I think it's right on, but it's almost like, it's just another way of thinking of it. It's like, how are you identifying? Are you identifying with lack, or are you identifying or feeling abundance? And sometimes you can kind of find these like streams of feeling, and they kind of look like a wave of light, similar to a timeline, but more like, and to connect to that. That's kind of a weird answer, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's like connecting to that, finding that feeling. You really have, with abundance, it's just another energy. You have to release so much stuff.
Yeah. So when somebody
really
said, if you want to put our questions, just you're doing it when you put the comments. We got your questions, and we can we can get them. And so I'm just having so much fun. You don't have to stick around, Rachel. I know it's a Saturday, and we are really honored with you spending time with us. How do we remember our life plan? Is a question. How do we remember our life plan? Sometimes we're not meant to remember it, because then as soon as we remember it, it messes everything up. Sometimes we can remember it. We make it our intention. In my own experience, have you ever addressed this or dealt with that?
Yeah, I work with, I call it the light path a lot. I think the truth is you will never get to the end of it until your life is over. I mean, it's just going to change, It's like this is what I'm here to do. And then later you're like, oh, no, wait, this is what I'm here to do. I think it changes. And you could discover everything you're supposed to do and be right on track. And then that could change some more. I mean, it's just, I feel like it's always changing.
Is there any other forms of energy that you can bring through, Rachel?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I bring through Reiki, I bring through trance healing, I bring through light language.
Let's do something for the group, the people that are watching. We got over 200 people all around the world right now watching. So we did earlier, we brought some energy in, and that was for timeline shifting. So if you are watching this and you can watch the recording, go back and listen to it. But Rachel loves to channel to energies. So what do you got for us, Rachel?
Well, people keep asking for a dragon, so I feel like there is a dragon.
Oh, the dragon energy. Let's go.
So I actually see this big silver pink dragon. Shemaya, she says her name is. Let's see. What does she want to bring through? Okay, let me, I think she's saying that she can bring through like some help for finding your next step in your light path. How about that? Would that work?
All right, that works. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Woo, her energy is really strong.
Oh yeah, see, I love that. I want to know in the comments what people are feeling when they hear stuff like that, because it is a conscious experience. What's interesting is the tangible, visceral feelings that energies and healing like that can occur. It's a carrier wave. It's a deliverance package. It's like they can deliver energy through the carrier wave of the sound in the way, no other way that they could do it, right?
Yeah, it's, she just showed me like flying through what I think was Lemuria. That was really neat. I felt I was flying with her. Yeah.
So when you say Lemuria in your experience, that's just someplace in the past, right?
Some
Yeah, yeah.
golden age.
Right.
It looks a certain way to me, so
I want to
think that's what
dance
it was.
around like a child. I feel safe and brave to be authentic. See, I like that. I
I
like
like that
that.
too.
I saw the Eye of Horus in my visual field. See what? Look, I felt the wholeness of the universe.
Wow.
Right? Feels totally different. Oh, here's one. Let's see. My nostril is buzzing, slight burning. All right. See, that's a
I
good
hope that's a
sign.
good sign. I mean, that you enjoy that.
I felt joy and clarity following my North Star.
Oh, thank you.
Vibration through the soul. Power, softness, strength. I feel it.
My goodness.
Is that just me? I get full body
you.
chills hearing that. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, there are people, maybe on Instagram, somebody just, randomly got to this and they're like, what's that? But I'm telling you in the comments that this expression of energy can play a unique effect. And I'm saying be open to it, listen to it, and then moderate, and then go back and say, how does this feel? I think that music's always been that way. I mean, certain music creates a certain feeling in me, and I can't be unhappy when I hear that song, or when I hear that song. I just can't be. And there is nothing that shifts my state more than music, because I can immediately, if I'm in a terrible situation, I hear a good song. It can be just a mainstream song that's on the radio. Then that'll immediately take me to right where I need to be. Right.
Yeah, I have a good playlist.
So yeah, let me ask, as somebody who loves music, are you one of those playlist fanatics that has, like, you have the master playlist, right? That has like 5,000 songs, and then you have shorter. See, I have the one playlist. So if it's got to go on the master playlist, if it's like it's in my favorite, so I can put that on random at some point, and
that's a good idea.
It'll shuffle through all my songs, and then it's like, okay, I got too many. So when it's shuffling, it's kind of crazy. So then I make smaller ones, like the more but then I used to be obsessed with the order of the song. So I want to hear these 4 songs in this order, and it would do something to me. So I mean, when you say playlist, talk to me.
I listen to so many different types of music that I have to have the different playlists for sure.
See, I felt her in my brain, offering direction. Cool. I felt a swirling feeling in my temples of my head. I felt higher density beings started contacting. See?
Oh, nice.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dragons are it, huh?
Man, oh man. Can you please thank the dragons for joining us, and the fairies? And tell the fairies that I will leave a gift for them, and they'll know where it is. I'll make sure to leave something wonderful them, and to make their presence known, to introduce themselves to my cats if they would like. I'm thinking my cats might enjoy their presence.
I think your cats already know the fact.
They already know. Yeah. And so it's been a real honor to bring you on. We need to bring you on for a normal interview. I when I woke up, I don't know why, I was like, I should just invite Rachel to come on. It was random. It was like later in the day, and you were like, oh, I'm sorry, I missed it, because I think the time show. And I was like, no, we haven't done it. So you guys don't understand. Usually when something like this, it's like planned out for a month or something. But Rachel just came on, out of the blue. I just
happened to be here doing some work on the computer.
So now you have is your show started yet? Tell me about that. You have a show
my Ethereal TV show.
Yeah, the
Ethereal still is only like half launched, so I have a few episodes up, but I've been concentrating more on my podcast and my YouTube channel.
But people can watch those on the Ethereal, and how do they find that?
I just mean my YouTube.
On your YouTube? Okay.
Yeah, Soundwaves Heal. It's I have a podcast and
Soundwaves Heal. It's great. You're putting out regular, amazing content. You can access the energy from this, and you can also, your website again is
soundwavesheal.com,
and you can contact Rachel, and she can give you personal sessions, and they can join your group at school.com/
Soundwaves Heal.
Soundwaves Heal. And you can she has an amazing community on school, and you can join there. And so
Thank
at
you.
some point, maybe we need to get you to an event. So we
I
can
know.
do some clearing.
I have
and
a retreat next week, so
oh,
but I
is
was
it
looking
sold
at
out?
that
Is
Maui.
it sold out, or can people
No,
still
I still have
attend
a space or two. Yeah, it's in Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains. It's Friends of the Fae channeling retreat. If you want to come channel Fae.
All right. So they can find the information on the retreat at your website.
Mhm.
All right. So go to the soundwavesheal.com website, and you can find information on the retreat on her channel. Is there anything else that we need to know?
I don't know. That was probably a lot. You can go find my new Fae journal on Amazon. I just put it up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Show you
And so for everyone else, I just want to emphasize that we still have tickets available to our Maui event, and you can get tickets for our event in Anaheim at brianscottlive.com/Anaheim-2026, or and then Austin is /Austin-2026, and Sedona is /Sedona-2026. We got early bird pricing available, and so we're almost out of rooms in Maui. So now's the time to get the ticket to Maui if you've decided. It's at a beautiful location at the Maui Westin. Right, you'll walk away from each teaching right to the beach. You can just like it'll 1 minute, and then you're in the water right there. You just like boom. After you do a meditation with me, you're like you're in the water right there. You don't even have to drive anywhere. You can even do this. You can even go in for our daily sessions in your swimsuit, and then just go right outside. So it's going to be amazing. And so I'm so glad we had you on.
Thank you.
I'm sending love to everyone out there. Have an amazing Saturday. And as always, welcome to the Reality Revolution.